1 year ago, Aaron Nola was the future. The Phillies' first-round pick in 2014 made a rapid rise through the system. His major league arrival last summer came with great expectations, and in a 2-month cameo, he did not disappoint. Now at the tender age of 22, the talented right-hander knows he needs to continue to turn promise into performance. He is no longer the future. Aaron Nola is now. Well, the last couple of days, the starting pitchers for the Phillies have performed at a very high level. Adam Morgan, Alec Asher, Zach Eflin all pitched well. And today, Aaron Nola will take the baseball. The Phillies hope that he's not only the opening day starter, but their ace as the 2016 season evolves. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Ben Davis. We'll hear from Greg Murphy in just a little bit. Well, there's always a sense of excitement when Aaron Nola takes the baseball for the Phils. Not only when he was in the minor leagues, we watched everything he did, but also when he came to the major leagues last year. And today takes the baseball as he continues to trek forward to what they hope is a pretty good sophomore year.
He is moving forward, and there has been a lot of expectation upon Aaron Nola to go out and succeed because the Phillies are making this youth movement, and he is really at the forefront of that. Aaron Nola, what I like about him is the fact that he's staying within himself. A lot of young kids come up, there's a lot of expectations put upon them. Sometimes they bend to that pressure, but he has stayed within himself, trusted himself, and he's thrown strikes. Tom, you know me, the best pitch in baseball is a strike, and he's thrown a lot of them. He started to mix in that changeup a little bit more. Good run on his fastball, good breaking ball, but I think that changeup is really a pitch that's going to help him out down the road.
Those highlights were from an outing he had last September against the Atlanta Braves. Some of the particulars on Aaron Nola, what it doesn't say here is that he is composed. So what did he think about Major League Baseball and pitching against those hitters?
It looks really hard on TV. You know, it looks like, dang, how can you got to be really, really good to play at this level. But once you're on the field, it's the same game. It's 60 feet, 6 inches from home plate to the mound, 90 feet to the bases. But the only difference is the guys are older and they're veteran guys in there. They're better. But at the end of the day, it's the same game. It's still baseball.
Well, for any pitcher, what you like is excitement behind you. Good defense, good base running, and timely hitting. And let's face it, the Phillies have won 5 straight spring training games, Ben, and the last few days they really have put it all together.
They have, and what I like about the biggest picture right now for the Phillies is the power. They're getting some power. I like to see that. Yes, they're throwing strikes. The starting pitching has been very good. The relief pitchers have come in. They've made a few adjustments, not walking as many hitters. The defense has been outstanding, but I like the power. That's something that the Phillies have lacked over the last couple of years. They're getting some pop. They're getting some juice out of the middle of that lineup. They're going to need it if they're going to provide Franco with a little bit of stability in the middle of that lineup.
Well, you look at some of the numbers for spring training games so far. The Phils are tops in runs scored. They're tops in batting average. They're 4th in OPS. All very good numbers. We know it's spring training, but it's been very nice to see over the first 10 days of spring games. So this afternoon, it will be Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phils. He'll be opposed by right-hander Jordan Zimmerman, who last year made 33 starts for the Washington Nationals, a huge free agent pickup for the Detroit Tigers. Well, it's a beautiful day for baseball. It's also a beautiful day to soak in the sun, get out onto the field, and also get a chance to say hello to some old friends, whether it be the Detroit coaching staff or some of their players. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Toyota's hybrid fleet is nothing short of a home run. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. By Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. nice and easy quartet on today's national anthem. The Phillies have taken the field. The Fanatic's been in rare form here this afternoon. He's been fooling around with Omar Vizquel over in the Tigers dugout, and Omar has brought out the largest of the Detroit Tigers to help defend him while the Fanatic was dancing around over by the first base side. It's always nice to see him here at the ballpark. Let's take a look at the Tigers lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Jose Iglesias leads it off at shortstop, then Tyler Collins and Justin Upton. Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, bats cleanup. Nate Shearholtz, the former Phil, bats fifth. James McCann, sixth. In the bottom third of John Mayberry Jr., Andrew Romine, and Winton Bernard. And they will face Phillies right-hander Aaron Nola, the 22-year-old from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His numbers last year in the big leagues, he was excellent, particularly in the month of September. And he got roughed up a little bit in his first outing against the Toronto Blue Jays, but not too much Ben phases this young man.
It really does, and that's something that about spring training that you'd like to put behind you, and he's able to do that, knowing he's going to be on this ball club. We take a look at the scouting report. Really a three-pitch pitcher, probably sitting at around 89 to 92, 93 today. The slider is very good. The changeup is still a work in progress, but he has made some strides with that. But his command has been very good.
Yeah, the rotation for the Phils has sort of bounced around over the last several days because of illnesses in the clubhouse. But the hope is that Nola will wind up going 3 innings or more today. Brad Ausmus, the manager of the Detroit Tigers, his bench coach, Gene Lamont. In his third year, 164 wins. Last year, of course, wasn't as good as his first year as the skipper. Pete McCannon is back in Clearwater. I told him today, I said, that Larry Boa can manage. Just laughed. So the first pitch of the day from Aaron Nola is fouled away. So Jose Iglesias right off the bus and taking the hack right away. So it's no balls and 1 strike. Played in 120 games last year, hit 300 for the Tigers. 2 home runs, 23 runs batted in.
That lineup, that him being at the top of the lineup, it's really just an added bonus about him hitting so high. He's really out there for his glove, and he can pick it at shortstop.
Yeah, the middle of that lineup, the middle of that defense is excellent. With Kinsler at second base and Iglesias at short. That one's lined into right field, a base hit. So Iglesias is aboard to start the ball game. Marty Foster is behind home plate today. Tom Hallion is over at first. Phil Cuzzi at second, and Vic Carapazza is around at third.
That same crew every game, it seems.
Pretty much. Pretty much. You're assigned to Clearwater. You're assigned to Lakeland. You're assigned to Orlando. That is how it works, though, for the umpires. There's probably 5 or 6 that are assigned to a specific area, and they will basically rotate, from day to day. We've seen Phil Cuzzi, Vic Carapazza, and Tom Hallion almost every day. Marty Foster's been thrown in there a couple days.
I think a lot has to do with their tenure as being Major League umpires.
Do you think they like being in Clearwater?
I think they get their pick.
Yeah. 2 balls and no strikes to Collins. Collins does have a home run, a couple RBIs so far this spring. He's got a chance to be a swingman in the outfield. He'll probably be their 4th outfielder. With the injury to Cameron Maben, who is supposed to be the everyday center fielder, that might change playing time for some of these other outfielders. Maben is out with a broken bone in his wrist. Swing and a miss. That had some nice bite on it. That sinker exploding down in the zone.
And I don't know really what Collins is looking for. I think he's sitting 2-0 dead red. I'm going to get a cookie that I can really juice. And it's almost like he decided to swing as soon as Aaron Nola let that ball go.
And that is Nola's style, to let it run away from the left-handed hitters and kind of in to those right-handed batters.
First of all, it's a ball. But secondly, I know it did have late run on it. But secondly, if you do hit that pitch, there's nothing you can do with it. That's not the ball I'm looking to hit 2-0.
Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw by Ruiz is off the glove of Freddie Galvis. Stolen base for Iglesias. So he's in scoring position.
Chooch having to stay back on that just a hair. Looks like this ball just really hits Iglesias in the side, right there in the tail. Ball kind of just tailing in towards Iglesias. As a catcher, though, you have to sit back because Collins was swinging, so you have to make sure you don't get catcher's interference.
Plus, I wouldn't think it's very easy sometimes to catch a fastball from Nola when there's a guy running, because there is so much late movement.
There is a lot of run. Usually he's going to be down in the zone. Pitches that are down were always the toughest to throw on. Well, for me anyway, being 6'5", it was always had to make sure you kept your butt down. A, so you didn't block out the umpire, and B, give him something that he can look at. You have to make sure you stay back.
He went around, says the home plate umpire, Marty Foster. Collins can't believe it. I actually thought it was a strike anyway, but it's a strike on the swing, and there's one away here in the top of the first.
As a hitter, you do want the third base umpire to get a little bit of help, but I thought he went. I still think he went.
His hand certainly wanted to go.
Yeah.
Here's Justin Upton. Now, Upton DHing today. That was the plan the whole time for the Tigers for this afternoon's ball game. There was a thought, though, that plan would change because he sprained his ankle yesterday. It was a mild sprain, as it turns out. Anthony Gose, the center fielder for the Tigers, stepped on Upton's foot. But he went through his normal regimen today at batting practice. Tigers made a couple of free agent pickups, including Upton, 6 years, $132 million.
Think you could live on that, Tom?
6 years is kind of long, honestly, man. He had a good year last year with 6 years, $132 million. $251 a year ago, 26 home runs, 81 runs batted in. A nice job for the Padres, as that one is fouled. We take a look at our Toyota leaders, and we look at the youngest players to make their debuts. Justin Upton was 19 years old, 342 days. Was not the youngest, though, since 2007. Remember when Bryce Harper made his debut? So much followed him. Mike Trout, the same. But look at the other two guys, Profar and Dylan Bundy, the pitcher from the Orioles organization. Both of those guys have had injury problems. In fact, Bundy pitched yesterday for Baltimore back at their camp, or I should say 2 days ago. And they were optimistic that he was feeling healthy.
Some good company he's in there.
Fastball that runs outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Upton. Back to the screen. Think about that. Aaron Nola made his debut at 22. That's young.
It is young.
I don't know how somebody can compartmentalize at that such a youthful age.
Just think about it in any business in general. You go from being 19 years old, you're at the top level in your business. And that's what these guys have been able to do. That is young.
Working ball inside, 3-2.
I'm not saying they were the best in their particular business. We watch this breaking ball here from Aaron Nola. Kind of just gets underneath it and casts it to the side there. see him just stay a little bit more on top, a little more depth on that breaking ball.
What was the most overwhelming thing for you in your 20s when you made your debut?
The speed of the game. And I'm not talking about how fast guys ran. Yes, they seemed like they were quicker, but the way the balls came off the bat, how hard the outfielders threw from the outfield, infielders threw from the infield, everything just seemed to really speed up. And you always have to be thinking ahead, especially from the catcher's standpoint, because you always have to be thinking ahead 1 pitch down the road, 2 pitches down the road.
What about the off-the-field stuff? Because that's in the dirt and Upton draws the walk. I would think that's part of the pressure of being up at such a young age, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that go along with that, but you realize that everything you've worked for in your life has come to fruition right then and there. The only thing I ever wanted to do is play Major League Baseball. You could ask everybody on this field, everybody in the dugout, possibly everyone in the stands, what they wanted to do when they grew up. Play Major League Baseball.
Aaron Nola has runners on first and second. Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, is the batter. Last year, 15 home runs, 73 runs batted in. Check swing, foul ball. Last 2 years for the Tigers' third baseman, he played in 148 games and then 154 games last year. There was a lot of talk about whether he would be traded a couple of years ago, but then they moved Miguel Cabrera over to first base, and he's done a very good job over at first base to open the door for Castellanos at third. Fights it off, foul.
Aaron's done a very good job thus far of working ahead, but he's just not able to put these hitters away. Saw with Iglesias, first batter of the game, 0-2, leaves a fastball up, and Iglesias shoots it to right. So maybe trying to find that one pitch, one spot that he could really go to and put these hitters away.
Is that because it's early in spring?
It is. Again, talking about command, trying to find that command or that certain pitch that you know you can go to at a given time.
That one's rocketed foul down the third base line.
Perfect case right there. 0-2 breaking ball. It's okay to throw that pitch, but you can't throw it in that region of the strike zone. That ball's a hanger. Looks like you're saying, you know what, thank you very much, Aaron, for throwing that pitch in the middle. Again, the growing pains of a younger pitcher.
Pitches total for Nola here in the first. Phillies have an assortment of pitchers who were scheduled to throw here this afternoon, and then some extra guys as well. Aaron was scheduled to throw at least 3 innings today, maybe a little bit more. All depends on pitch count. And a strike 3 call. Boy, he kind of lulled him to sleep there. 2 strikeouts in the inning.
This is just some pain here, Tom. Runs that 2-seamer back. Good luck hitting that one.
So a 2 away. Here's Nate Schierholtz. Last year, Schierholtz was in camp with the Texas Rangers, was released before the end of spring training, and signed a contract to play in Japan. He wound up playing in 65 games in Hiroshima and had 10 home runs. He was a member of the Phillies a couple of years ago. That one's whacked toward first. Stassi has not made many mistakes defensively so far in this spring, and that one's off the heel of his glove, and everybody will be safe. He has been a whiz over at first base.
I think this is just a case of Stassi just letting the ball play him. And just be a little bit more aggressive with that. Take it more on a short hop. You're right, though. Very unlike him. He has been a wizard down there at first base this spring.
We've enjoyed watching him pick it over at first base, and there have not been the easiest of plays that have gone his way. So the bases are loaded, and here's James McCann, scheduled to be the starting catcher for the Tigers, although Holiday, who's in as their backup this spring, has had a very good start. Brian Holiday has 9 RBIs already this spring. See McCann, 4 for 12.
I like McCann. He's a big kid, does a very good job behind the plate, very good arm.
Last year he played in 114 games. They transitioned to him being kind of the everyday guy.
It's also nice having Brad Ausmus as your skipper. Brad caught for seemingly ever in the big leagues, and a smart catcher behind the plate.
Down and away, 2-1. Well, it's like when you came up with the Padres, you had Bruce Bochy.
Yeah.
The fact that you had a catcher as the manager, I would think was an advantage for you.
Just being able to see the game, and Brad Ausmus is just, honestly, not because he just went to Dartmouth, but he's just a smart man, smart baseball man in general.
Well, that pitch has been called a strike a lot in this first inning. Let's take a look. Maybe it was a little outside.
Maybe
a little bit.
Maybe it wasn't.
Looked pretty good.
It's a catcher hitting there, Tom.
Catcher who has mentioned something to the home plate umpire on a previous pitch. Awfully close to the same pitch.
Yeah. That's a good sign, though, for Aaron Nola.
Oh.
Not giving in completely. Still painting the outside corner there.
I know it's not easy, but that wasn't the same exact pitch. Runners will be off. 3 balls and 2 strikes with the bases loaded. And he lines it foul down the right field line. The ball was coming in hot into the crowd, and that gentleman was able to play it off the hop. Runners will go back. Another foul ball, and it remains 3-2.
You don't like to see that. 31 pitches right there in the first inning.
Runners lead and take off again. That ball is pulled towards short. Charging is Galvis. And Nola gets out of the jam here in the first inning. So he does walk one. There was an error. He allows 1 base hit and leaves them loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Tigers nothing, and the Phillies coming up.
The Cadillac you want.
in their half of the first, but they do not score. So as we go to the bottom of the first, let's take a look at Pete Maccannon's lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Galvis, Goodell, and Herrera, followed by Michael Franco, Nick Williams, and Carlos Ruiz. And the bottom third of Brock Stassi at first, Ryan Jackson at second, and Jorge Alfaro. I think we're excited to see him here this afternoon. He'll be the DH, and they'll face right-hander Jordan Zimmerman over from the Washington Nationals, where he won 13 games last year, 200 innings, 32 or more starts in each of the last 4 years, coming back from Tommy John surgery several years ago.
Very good pitcher, and one that the Phillies are very familiar with. Him being with the Nats for the last couple of years. As we take a look at the scouting report, he will touch 94, 4-pitch pitcher. When he's on, he's down in the zone and throwing that breaking ball. He gets a lot of strikeouts with that curveball. Career versus Phillies, 6-8 with a 4.17 ERA. So the Phillies have hit him around a little bit.
You know, it's funny, during the offseason, as Pete Mackanon and Carlos Ruiz chatting with Aaron Nola after his long first inning. During the offseason, I think a lot of people, particularly in the National League East, were wondering where Zimmerman would wind up. I actually thought he would be back with Washington, you know, based on his consistency and the number of innings. But the Tigers offered him a chance to get closer to home. He grew up in Wisconsin. He also gave him a nice little contract of 5 years and $110 million.
Yeah, that helps.
So Freddie Galvis will lead it off. Galvis, 4 hits so far this spring. And he loops that one out towards center, and it's going to drop in for a base hit.
There goes a no-hitter.
Well, Jordan Zimmerman, now 29 years old. There's the contract he was given by the Tigers this past offseason. 70 wins and an earned run average of 3.32. Also a no-hitter on his resume. Tyler Goodell has played a lot this spring after missing the first couple of days because he was ill. And Pete Maccannon's been able to get a good look at him. The Rule 5 pick out of the Tampa Bay Rays organization. 6 hits and 22 at bats so far. Inside, 2-0.
Tyler, a very unorthodox stance in the fact that he keeps his bat really well below his shoulder. But when the pitch is coming in, he gets it back to what I call being center, getting back up over your head.
Chokes up a bit too.
He does.
Up high, 3 balls and no strikes.
I do not think he'll have the green light here, Tom.
Well, inside, ball 4, and that'll put runners on first and second. Well, Goodell is playing left field today. You know, Aaron Altair is out for 4 to 6 months with the surgery on the thumb, and we found out today that Cody Ashley had an MRI on his injured oblique yesterday. It turned out to be a grade 1 strain, which, as Cody said before the ballgame today, he said it's not anything we didn't expect. Pete Mackanon told us earlier that he just needs time. He needs to rest, and he said, listen, I've had them before. This is Pete talking. He could show up tomorrow and be fine. He said, I don't think that. He said, but we need to back off, and he's been taking fly balls out in left field and doing a lot of the drills that Phillies have done, so they're just going to back off on that.
Ice, stem, rest, and repeat.
Here's Odubel Herrera. Herrera 6 for 18 this spring, and he hits that one toward the middle. Iglesias has it. Not often that Herrera's doubled up, but he's doubled up there. Runner over to third, 2 men down here in the first. Well, this is what you talked about, Ben.
Very, very smooth. Perfect feed to Romine at second base. He gets Odubel by plenty. Now you may say, why did Odubel swing at that first pitch? He just walked Goodell on 4 pitches. Well, you have a veteran pitcher on the mound. You know he's going to want to get locked back in the strike zone. You have a veteran pitcher, and it's spring training. Get your hacks.
Yeah, we had a long talk with Pete about that the other day, based on, I think it was game 1, where the Phillies hitters did just that. They went after the pitch early, and he laid it out, and that was exactly what he said. As Franco takes a big rip and fouls it off the mask of McCann.
And it's not like it was a bad pitch to swing at, or he popped it up or took a bad swing. Hit the ball as hard as you can hit it.
Ball may have got a piece of the umpire as well. Do your ears ring every time you see a catcher get hit with a foul ball like that?
What?
Exactly. Cobwebs are clear for everybody. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that ball is crushed deep to left field. Collins going back. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Maikel Franco. And the Phillies, this sounds like a repeat, take a 2-0 first inning lead, and they do so for the 3rd consecutive home game.
That ball was K-I-L-T, kilt. What a swing. I believe that was a cutter, Tom. I saw McCann put the 3 symbol down, and that ball was cooked out to left field. See how early he gets his foot down and extension through the ball, creating that backspin. Whew, that's a pretty swing.
Well, that's 3 home runs now for Franco this spring. It's 14 home runs for the Phillies, which is tops in baseball. Nick Williams, the hitter. Williams hitting a .154. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that's why I discussed that in the open. The Phillies are doing a lot of things well, but I like the fact that they're hitting balls out of the ballpark. Everyone's, well, yeah, it's great that they're hitting homers, and that's great, but we haven't seen that in the last couple of years. And homers are cool, Tom. Homers are cool.
Home runs are cool. More the merrier.
That's right.
And then Williams is struck out. McCann will finish off the strikeout with a toss to John Mayberry over at first. The Phillies, though, get a couple of runs, just as they've done the last couple of days. They got a 2-run home run in the first inning. Last couple of days, it was Darren Ruff. Today, Maikel Franco into the Phillies bullpen. They lead it 2-0 as we go to the top of the 2nd. Boy, it's been nice to watch Michael Franco so far in the early going this spring. 3 home runs, including 1 today, to give the Phils a 2-0 lead as we move to the top of the second. John Mayberry Jr. will lead things off. John spent 6 years with the Phillies organization. He actually got a nice round of applause when Chris Wheeler introduced him a moment ago. His 1 home run helped the Tigers win a spring training game. They've won 6 so far. Last year he had a great spring for the New York Mets. Wound up making the club and then hit just 164 for the season. Popped up. Ruiz quickly off the mask. One away. Andrew Romine is coming up. Well, this is the day that some people dread. In fact, I think most people dread. It was the first cuts for the Phillies. Murph, and I guess we kind of expected some of them.
Yeah, you know what? Of course, it's kind of the rite of passage in spring. There are going to be cuts. You know, they can't obviously carry the guys throughout the spring. And, yeah, it happened today. Some 3 young pitchers, actually, the Phils reassigning to minor league camp. It was Jake Thompson, Zach Eflin, and Mark Appel. Now, all 3 of them pitched in yesterday's game on the road, and all 3 of them pitched very, very well. Combined 8 innings pitched. They allowed just 2 runs. They had 6 strikeouts and no walks between the 3 of them. So what does it mean to be reassigned? Well, honestly, it's really just a numbers thing. They've got to go down to minor league camp to get their work in. They're not going to be able to pitch as many innings in major league camp that they really need to get ready for the season. So that's what it's all about. And, Ben, you can speak to it. Being reassigned to minor league camp, it's not the end of the world. And those guys spoke to the media this morning, and that's kind of how they took it. It's just part of the progression to get back to the big leagues.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but if you're expecting to make a ball club and you get cut, it does feel like the end of the world. But you really, if you're a youngster, though, you miss that big league meal money. That's what you miss.
See, it all comes down to the basics right there. Now, I think it's fair to say that none of those 3 guys, certainly they all have outside chances of making the big club leaving spring, but I think most of them probably knew that they would start in the minor league, so it doesn't come to a shock to them. And basically the organization is saying, we need you to pitch. We need you to get to 5 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings, and there just isn't enough time up here to do that. So they send them over to the backfields. And those guys, they said today to the media, they like the fact that they're all going down together because it's a close-knit group, and they like pitching in the same rotation. They push each other, they work each other, and, they all hope that one of these days they'll all get brought back to the big leagues together.
That ball is grounded through the right side. Bernard with a 2-out single. Well, I didn't hear Zach Eflin speak earlier today, but I did hear Jake Thompson and Mark Appel, and both of those guys, they said the right things. There was no question about that, and they basically said what Murph said, too. They're excited to go down together. The expectation is they'll be part of the AAA rotation. There's a lot of gas being thrown by those 3 guys, and we've seen a lot of success also. And they really cherished the opportunity of being here to start spring training, and that's an experience that they will certainly take with them down in the minors, and as Murph said, hopefully before they come back up again.
And they're right, they will push each other because they know if something were to happen to one of the 5 starting pitchers for the Phillies, they're going to push each other because whoever's doing the best at that time, they're going to be the ones that gets the nod to go to the big leagues.
Nola peeking over at first. Bernard got a late jump. Ruiz's throw is high, though, and it's backed up by Freddie Galvis. A stolen base. Bernard is still 43 last year in the minor league. Steals one here, so he's in scoring position. Freddie Galvis did a good job getting behind the throw.
He sure did. This was not the best of jumps, but Chooch just had a tough time getting on top of the ball. Bernard very quick to get to second base, but a good job by Freddie to back that ball up.
Boy, he was moving. Iglesias singled his last time up, has a runner in scoring position here, and he hits that one foul.
Aaron having a tough time with that breaking ball today. Ball's just staying up a little bit. He got away with another one to John Mayberry Jr. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball. popped it up.
Now, if you see that as the catcher, do you ask for it more just to try to get him to sharpen it a little bit?
I'd tell him to throw it in the grass.
Because then he's getting on top of it.
Yeah, just get on top, bury it. Just bury it. A little better there. You just go out and you say, you know what, Aaron, and I think he's one of those guys, I'm tired of you hanging these pitches. Bury it. Throw it in the dirt. I'll block it for you.
That one hits Iglesias in the back of the leg. And it puts runners on first and second with 2 men down.
I believe that was another breaking ball. He seems like he's getting around it, dropping his elbow and just... Yeah, that's just a breaking ball. I mean, to miss that Bailey, it just seems like he's getting underneath and he's kind of casting it up. But the beautiful thing about spring training is you can keep throwing it.
He was able to get Collins looking on strikes, I should say swinging on strikes his first time up. That one runs inside, 1-0. Nola worked out of the bases loaded jam in the first, and he has a couple base runners here in the second. Now that was a changeup.
Yes.
From Aaron Nola. He's only thrown a couple of those. He's thrown a couple in this inning. Galvis giving him a chance to take a breather, get some rosin.
Let's break up a little bit of thought process there by Freddie.
Over to the right side. Stassi makes a nice play. Nola's there to cover. Side is retired. 3-1 on the putout. It's not an easy play for Stassi to track down. Tigers lose 2. They've left 5 through the first 2 innings. Park will be Monday, April 11th. It's a 3:05 first pitch between the Phils and the San Diego Padres, and all fans will receive the Phillies commemorative opening day cap. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. This crowd on hand today. The Tigers do travel well. Their spring training home is in Lakeland, Florida, which isn't too far. And it's a gorgeous day. Carlos Ruiz will lead it off in the bottom of the second. Carlos so far 4 for 17. And he takes a strike. He's trying to see all the pitchers because, as we've mentioned before, he's going to leave to head to the World Baseball Classic in Panama, representing his home country. I think he's most excited about, not only putting the Panama uniform on again, but the fact that the pod that he's playing in is going to be at Rod Carew Stadium in Panama. Grounds out, one away.
Definitely the most well-known Panamanian, other than maybe Mariano.
I think the most well-known active Panamanian. He says that Mariano right now, Rod Carew, of course, before, Mariano was the man. Severino Gonzalez, who pitched yesterday for the Phillies, also Panamanian descent, is not going to go and play in the World Baseball Classic. Stassi flies out to left, 2 outs.
Very aggressive Phillies hitters today.
Ryan Jackson is playing second base today. Takes a fastball on the inside corner. Just to give you the lay of the land of Brian Jackson, he's played in the big leagues with St. Louis, San Diego, Angels, Royals. He is a utility infielder. That's not his goal, but that's what he would project to be. Playing a little third, short, and second base.
And he's hit the ball well this spring. As you see there with the .462 batting average.
Out to right field, not deep. Coming on is Sherholtz. He dives and he makes the catch. Fantastic concentration by Nate Sherholtz. And the Phillies go down in order here in the second inning. Well, when you try to make a ball club, you try to do anything you can to open the eyes of the coaching staff. Nate Sherholtz flipping a little leather.
Trends come and go.
Eric Gunn and Zach Berman share their opinions on the latest happenings with the Eagles' potential wheeling and dealing during free agency. Watch Quick Slants presented by Nissan tonight at 6 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, I think you have to have a scorecard for all the moves, not only that the Eagles have made with DeMarco Murray going to the Titans, but also everybody else in the National Football League. I mean, here I am thinking that Brock Osweiler is going to stay in Denver, and all of a sudden I read a report that he's going to the Texans.
Crazy.
Justin Upton takes a strike. It's 0-1. Roseman certainly is changing the Philadelphia Eagles roster right before our eyes. A little low to Justin Upton. 1 ball and 1 strike. Upton walked his first time up. All right, so he gets that curve over on the inside part of the plate.
A little better there.
Yep.
pitch.
Daniel Stump is loosening up in the pen. Oh boy, that's exactly where Ruiz wanted it. Maybe it was a little low. It's 2-2.
That's all I'm going to say.
Just swing and a miss. He got him. Third strikeout for Aaron Nola.
Very funny. Very rarely, I should say, do you see a sinker baller or a pitcher with some depth on his fastball be a little bit more effective on the outside part of the plate to a right-hander. Usually they like to get that run inside to a righty or down away to a lefty. Seems to be like he's staying on that fastball a little bit more to the outside portion of the plate to these righties, getting that pitch.
There's Castellanos, and he takes low, 1-0. All right, so from a right-hander, he's throwing that pitch, and it's starting outside, and it's tailing back. I would think that's a devastating pitch for a right-handed hitter because you're giving up on it.
You're giving up on it, and you give it up on it as a left-hander.
Swing and a miss.
But I think on the pitches that he's throwing in, he maybe or down and away to a lefty. He might be flying open a little bit more, trying to make that ball sink. That pitch away to the right, it seems like he's staying on that, still getting the same as like he's throwing it through Carlos Ruiz and not at Carlos Ruiz. See if he can do it here again.
In the center field, that ball's well hit. Going back on it is Odubel Herrera. It's over his head. A one-hop off the wall. Castellanos will pull into second, and he's there with a one-out double.
And that one caught a little bit more plate, didn't have as much run, and was a little bit elevated. Yeah, center cut. But a good extension by Castellanos to go down and get that ball and really create a lot of backspin.
So now Scherholtz, he reached on an error his first time up. Outside, 1-0. There are going to be times when a pitcher's not going to have his best command, which Aaron doesn't have here today, but he has battled, and I think that's one of the bright things that you see out of this is that so far he's allowed base runners. He's left 5, but he has battled and is sort of unfazed by it all. And he's maintained his velocity, too.
It's one thing I've been very impressed with this young pitching staff, and that's something I saw out of that young staff last year. Whether they were up by 10, down by 10, they kept the same poise on the mound.
1 ball, 1 strike to Scherholtz.
Pitch. Set up in, dots it in.
He got him. That pitch was a little up too, but he picks up his 4th strikeout. He had some great late movement on it.
And the speed of that changeup is perfect. Exactly 10 miles off his heater.
Oh, yeah.
Good late movement. You can see Scherholtz well out in front of that pitch. That's a pitch that can really, really be an equalizer for Aaron Nola.
Yeah, and because you look at the location and see the movement, it was exactly like his fastball, but as you said, 10 miles an hour less. So he was way out in front of it.
8 to 10. And we say that's the magic number.
Here's McCann. He grounded out his first time up in a fine charging play by Freddie Galvis. Inside, 1-0. A hop or two into the Phillies dugout. Aaron Sebia makes the play. It's actually a pretty cool scene today in the clubhouse where he went up to those three guys that were sent back to the backfield and just gave them a word of encouragement, chatted with them for a little bit. Very engaging fellow. Ground ball foul again.
Good play.
Yep. Fly balls to left field. Goodell going back on it. The wind may have it, and Goodell will watch it go. McCann with a towering 2-run home run. Thought it had a chance off the bat. Then I thought it might be caught at the track. But it just carried on out of here. Now we are tied up at 2.
Well, it did sound good off the bat, but I just thought he hit the bottom of it. But he gets good extension. They're hanging breaking ball, Tom. And you get it up in this wind today, blowing out towards left field. Looks like that's going to be it for Aaron Nola today.
Yeah, so McCann hits a 2-run home run. He ties this game up at 2. Nola's done after 65 pitches. Daniel Stumpf had been warming up in the bullpen for the Phils. So after Bob McClure has a chat with his right-hander. They'll watch the bullpen door swing open for Daniel Stumpf. Through 65 pitches here this afternoon. 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. He gives up a 2-run home run. Last batter that he faces. New pitcher is left-hander Daniel Stumpf. Phillies have 2 Rule 5 selections who are in Major League camp. Stumpf is the other. 3 2/3 so far this spring. 5 strikeouts in those 3 2/3 innings of work. And he's on to face John Mayberry Jr., who popped out toward his own dugout his last time up. I think the fastball was really good. His changeup was decent, and it was just the curveball, as you mentioned, Ben. He was just getting under it a little bit.
He was, and that's why you need the full assortment of all your pitches. 3 is always better than 2. If he can command all 3, he's going to have that success.
Mayberry takes up the stairs. 1 ball and no strikes. That one is lined into left field. That'll be in for a base hit. Heading to the wall, and Mayberry stumbles going around first, but he'll get to second base easily. So a 2-out double. Aaron Nola, as we mentioned, 65 pitches, 2 2/3, 4 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. Let's take a look at what he did here this afternoon. It was kind of up and down, as we mentioned.
It was up and down, but I do like the fastball command. Good run on that pitch. Again, the breaking ball was really the only pitch that gave him fits. Was able to get out of a few jams. Brock Stassi had the error early in that inning, but picks him up here. Able to get a little pitching fielding practice. But the changeup came along, and then the home run on another breaking ball.
Well, as they say, he got his work in here today.
Yes, he did.
Here's Andrew Romine. And Romine lines one down the left field line. Foul. So Mayberry goes back to second base. No balls, 2 strikes to Romine. Stumpf has a chance to obviously make the club, maybe as a left-handed specialist, but also a guy that can get righties out. So it's back-to-back right-handers that he's facing here. I think we've all been impressed with the velocity and location so far in his first couple of outings.
I've been impressed with his breaking ball. See how devastating that can be on a lefty.
Thought he may have had strike 3 there. It was close. Phillies have these lefties in camp battling for a spot in the bullpen. Araujo pitched last year in the big leagues. Laframboise pitched for the Pirates last year. Russell's pitched for the Cubs and the Braves. Oberholzer for the Astros. It's only Stumpf that has not pitched in the big leagues yet. It's nice to have that depth, particularly from the left side.
It just helps your manager out in the fact that if you do go out and burn a lefty, you have another one down there, or possibly 2 more down in the bullpen.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Romine. Swing and a miss. He tied him up. 92-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside part of the plate, and the side is retired. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Tigers. brought to you by Papa John's. The day after every Phillies win, get 50% off regular menu price pizzas using the promo code Phillies online at papajohns.com. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Hello, Ben Davis and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Phillies and the Tigers tied at 2. Andres Blanco saying hi to everybody. Jorge Alfaro. Phillies acquired him in the trade for Cole Hamels from the Texas Rangers. 3 for 9 so far this spring. We watched him for a few days just take batting practice. I think everybody was really impressed with what they saw. This is the first time we're getting a chance to see him in a game here on the big field, but he's played on the road. DHing here this afternoon. That is a fair ball behind the bag. Castellanos' throw not in time. That's one thing that I was impressed with Alfaro. Now that was not an easy play for Castellanos, but against University of Tampa, he legged out a fielder's choice that could have been a double play that gave the Phils some life.
That's what we do. That's what we do, Tom. We pick them up, we put them down.
Some slower than others.
But Castellano does make a good play on this, but digs it out. You can smell a hit as a hitter. And I like the fact that he ran through the bag. He didn't run to the bag.
But why were the Phillies so high on him? His last 2 years, as he takes off and the pitch is whacked foul, his last 2 years before injuring his ankle last season, he had 18 and 17 home runs. He's a catcher in the Rangers organization and was rated their #2 prospect. He had surgery on that left ankle. Pete McCann knows he can run a little bit because he just put the hit and run on. No balls and 1 strike. That one's tapped foul and it's 0-2. We're not sure where he will start. We do know that he will be a catcher. He and Andrew Knapp both. He has a very strong arm behind the plate.
He's got all the tools. Mike Schmidt said it's the best baseball body he's ever seen. High praise coming from Schmidt. He's a big kid.
But I guess the next step for him is just calling a full game and having that, be at the highest level.
It's always a work in progress. Okay, how many years you have in the big leagues or the minor leagues? Just for the simple fact that the guys that you're catching will forever change. Unless you're catching Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox for 20 straight years.
You mean Javier Lopez had an easy time, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
They want to go upstairs on Galvis. And he fouls it back.
Zimmerman with 7 of 11 first pitch strikes today. Pretty good percentage.
He's allowed 3 hits, retired the Phillies in order in the second. And Alfaro just gets back. He wasn't leaning, he was just frozen.
Quick feet by Zimmerman. That's why you need a wrong hander over there, Tom. Get that ball, boom, slam that tag down. Righties just have to reach all the way across their body.
Swing and a miss. Galvis strikes out. Second strikeout for Zimmerman. Great baseball and plenty of promotions when the Washington Nationals come to town April 15th, 16th, and 17th. The 17th is the Fanatics' birthday, brought to you by Citizens Bank. Tickets can be purchased for all 3 games of that series by going to Phillies.com. Well, one away. Goodell walked his first time up. pitch out, and Alfaro was not going.
We don't run on pitch outs, Tom.
The whole fraternity of catchers,
That's right.
do not run.
That was a typical expression from the dugout. Uh-oh.
And Alfaro is out. He just got all tangled up over first base.
Did. Trying to swim move.
They were really concerned about him, too, and it paid off.
They were.
In between steps.
Not a good feeling.
No, I can only imagine. 1 ball and 1 strike. You have to bring that up at the next catchers meeting for the fraternity, that you can't have that happen.
No. Very effective 1-2 pitch there by Zimmerman.
He is not afraid to come up and in. Outside, 3-2.
It's almost human nature to want to go back down and away after throwing a very effective pitch up and in. If you double up in there, you're going to have some success.
And a strike 3 call. Pretty good movement, late movement on that pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jordan Zimmerman. He has 3 this afternoon. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left for Pete Maccannon's Phils. Nationals, a kids polo jacket free to fans 14 and under. What are your tickets for that 3-game series and for all games coming up at Citizens Bank Park by going to Phillies.com. Teller Featherston will take over at shortstop for the Phillies as we move to the top of the 4th inning here at Bright House Field. There he is. Freddie Galvis is done after a couple of at-bats. Here's Bernard to lead it off. Quentin Bernard is one of those great baseball stories, and the game is littered with them. The guy who was a late draft pick by the San Diego Padres, released just before, and this is tough for anybody to swallow, released just before spring training in 2014. Thought he was going to go to camp with the Padres as a minor leaguer. And a scout from the Tigers said, listen, we're having a tryout in Lakeland, but you've got to get from San Diego to Lakeland, so you have to do it on your own dime. And he did. And he wound up one of 120 candidates during that tryout. And he was the only one selected by the Tigers to join them for spring training for his minor league, for the minor leaguers. He made the Midwest League club for the Tigers, was the MVP of the league as he chops that one over the mound, and he's going to have an infield hit. So last year he goes to Double-A, hits .301 with 4 home runs and 36 runs batted in. So pretty good story.
Great story.
So nobody out, and here's Jose Iglesias. Philly Fanatic has made his way up from downstairs, and Ben, we know you don't like sweets, so we decided that instead of a sweet, we'd get you some meat.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fanatic.
So we have a T-bone steak for Ben because Ben does not like cake. He doesn't like candy.
I'm not a
I don't know
sweets guy,
why.
but this is too much.
But a T-bone steak,
That is
freshly cooked
beautiful.
Downstairs by the Fanatic and John.
That looks glorious.
Fanatic did some seasoning to it. We need you to have it last the entire rest of the afternoon.
It's not going to last till this half inning, I'll tell you that much. You scared me, Fanatic.
I know Murph is taking you out to dinner tonight with the Fanatic. But this is a little hors d'oeuvre for you before you go out to dinner tonight.
That does look delicious.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. 39 years young today.
Really? Is that what you're telling everybody?
It's the truth. My nose getting bigger?
Hey, watch the nose things, all right?
It's more of a snout.
Yeah. Well, we'll light the candle at some point. It was lit, and the Fanatic blew it out. But we'll relight it again. You can throw a wish out there.
Okay.
Thanks to John Brazier for finding a candle, too. One ball and no strikes to Jose
That was
Iglesias.
very nice of John Brazier, despite being a Harvard school guy.
Don't make folks in the Delaware Valley mad at you. There's a strike. There it is. All right.
Does that look glorious or what?
Man, I know exactly what Ben Davis likes. And you know what? He's not going to share any of it either.
Oh, you're definitely getting a piece, Tom.
It was either this or going to Delco's or somewhere to make you feel like you're at home.
Yes. You enjoy a Delco's cheesesteak, that's for sure. Thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate it.
Let us know how the seasoning is, too.
Do I have to do the rest of this inning?
In between bites.
You made my day, Tom. Thank you.
Little toss over to first, and Bernard is back.
Yeah, I guess that secret's out, really, that I'm not a big sweets guy.
Well, you mentioned it a number of times. And folks at the supermarket were tired of making us cakes. They already made one for Francis.
That's right.
Another toss over, and Bernard is back.
How do you let something that big and green sneak up on you like that? How is that possible?
Well, Anita Slayton, our stage manager, was able to clear a path so you couldn't hear him thundering in. There he is. Look at him.
I mean, how do you not see that thing sneak up on you?
2-1 pitch is hit foul down the right field line. 2-2. By the way, it's cooked medium. I know you probably want it a little rarer, but that one's pulled foul. Look out. A little splashdown down on the concourse. Whoop. That is exactly what she meant to do. Boy, she would be a hoot at the skee ball.
Smooth as stucco.
Oh, nice catch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Iglesias, who's working it here. Runner at first. 2-2 ball game here in the top of the 4th. There he goes from first. The pitch is slapped the other way. Stassi has it. Stump was late getting over, and Iglesias is safe at first base. Boy, there were so many moving parts on that particular play.
just a defensive play by Iglesias. He sees Bernard running there, and you're right, Daniel, a little late getting over there. If you hesitate just a second, that'll give the base runner enough time to get up the line and be safe at first.
You're already falling over to that side of the field if you're a left-hander. So runners on first and second. And Tyler Collins, who's 0 for 2. Pitch high, 1-0. Collins has struck out. He's also grounded out to first. And that one's looped into right field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Bernard. He's going to score. Going to third is Iglesias. Williams airmails the throw. And it's a 3-2 Tigers lead. Well, if you're Tyler Collins, you're feeling good because you got a base hit against a lefty. If you're Bernard, your wheels and the presence of your wheels help produce that run.
It really did. Just a soft chopper Bernard hit just to get on base, and then used his wheels to get around. Collins a good job of staying on that breaking ball, shooting it to right field. I would like to see Nick Williams keep this throw a bit lower, though. It really airmailed that ball to third base. Well up, more towards shortstop, where Franco ended up catching that baseball.
Well, still nobody out. Phillies look to turn 2 as Upton takes on the inside corner. It's 0-1. All right, so the first real adversity for Daniel Stumpf in his handful of appearances.
A bit low there.
Broke his bat over to first. Caught by Stassi. He steps on first with his glove. And a double play.
Useful.
Sure was. There are 2 outs with a runner at third.
His instincts are just very, very good. That's the second bat Upton has broken today, but Stassi goes down to his knees really to get that ball, and instead of extending his foot, extends his glove because it's a quicker way to get to first base. Those are the kind of instincts that I like to see on the diamond.
Yeah, I think everything he's done from a baseball standpoint, folks in Reading knew it from watching him last year where he was the Eastern League MVP. Everything that he's done has been positive so far in spring training.
Despite the error he had in the first inning, that's really the only mistake we've seen him. And I kind of likened him. I know a lot of Phillies fans watching back home remember Rico Brogna and how smooth and slick he was around the base. Stassi reminds me a bit of him.
Castellanos fouls it away. It's 0-2.
Again, these lefties really auditioning to see how they can. Yeah, you can be a left-handed specialist, but if you're able to get those righties out like we talked about last inning, that makes your stock go way up in the eyes of a manager and a pitching coach. You leave them out there for a few batters, not have to worry about it.
Stumpf wants an appeal. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies had a Rule 5 selection in camp last year, Andy Oliver, who they gave a long look to, and I think that's exactly what they'll do with Stumpf. And whether he makes the team or not will still depend on results as he strikes out Castellanos. All right, so he runs into a little bit of a problem here in the fourth. He does allow a run on 3 hits, and he leaves 1. Toyota's hybrid fleet is nothing short of a home run. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Along with Ben Davis and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Phillies trail at 3-2. Jordan Zimmerman is still out there. And Odubel Herrera will lead it off. He hit into a double play his last time up. Herrera takes a strike. It's 0-1. Odubel went up there aggressively in his last at bat and hit one sharply toward the middle. It turned out to be a routine double play. And he lines one down the left field line, slicing away from Collins. He can't get it. It's a one-hop over the wall. It'll be a ground rule double. And Odubel with his 4th extra base hit this spring. Well, Murph, I know you're down the left field line with Aaron Nola. Did that ball come anywhere near you guys over there?
Not today. We were able to get out of the way of that one. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, here with Aaron Nola, 2 2/3 inning of work today, and getting your work in here at spring training. Obviously, we were just talking. I said fastball command for you looked pretty good, but maybe the curveball command still needs to come around a little bit.
Yeah, my fastball command was better than my last outing. In that aspect of the game, I felt pretty good. I had to make a little changes, but curveball command, I was kind of hanging some curveballs, and the curveball that got hit for a home run over here in left field, that one hung up a little bit.
When you talk about command, because really when talking about Aaron Nola, you talk about command and your ability to spot the baseball. Is that something that does take a little bit longer into spring training than perhaps velocity, a guy that's can overpower guys?
I feel like it's just repetition. I'm obviously not going to overpower guys. I don't throw what some guys do. So I try to focus on command in 3 pitches, and I'm going to keep continuing to work on my side sessions and my throwing sessions every day throughout spring training.
Where do you think you are? I mean, obviously, we're still pretty early in this whole process, and I know you've got a plan of attack to get you to April 1st and beyond. Where would you say, are you about a third of your way into where you want to be?
I feel like there's still a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things I need to get better at and get to where I want to be.
Before we came on the air, I was asking you about the guys that are headed over to minor league camp. And, I know you're close to Thompson and Eflin and Appel. Did you have a conversation with them this morning? And if so, what's the message for those guys? How did they feel when they got the news?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to know Thompson and Appel as well as I do Eflin. I play with Eflin and I actually room with them. So, they're great guys, man. They're competitors, and I know they're gonna do well. They're gonna do well wherever they are, and I just tell them to keep working. Keep striving to be the best that they can be.
How's your home run call? Because I think we just had one there.
That's solid. Very good.
Maikel Franco with his second home run of the game. Aaron, thank you very much. I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph. So we've gotten 2 home runs yesterday from Darren Ruff and from Cameron Rupp. And today, 2 home runs for Maikel Franco, as he scored Darnell Sweeney, who came on as a pinch runner for Odubel Herrera after Odubel's double. So the Phillies have retaken the lead. It's 4-3. I think this is a better swing than even the first time he was up.
Pulls his hands in and drives another baseball out to left field. He's locked in right now. Is it April yet?
Well, you said you like the home runs. The Phillies are leading spring training in home runs now with 15.
Let's not forget Odubel spraying that ball down, not spraying, but hitting that ball hard down the left field line to get that inning started.
Right.
Extra base hits. Love to see it.
Yeah, we talked about the OPS. The Phillies were in the top 5 in OPS in Major League Baseball. They've added to that here today. As Williams hits one to first, John Mayberry has it and trots over to first base to get Williams. OPS is the on-base percentage and slugging percentage combined, so that's where you sort of think about the extra base hits.
I said to Darren Ruff today during BP, I said, "There's some really cool far hits yesterday." He goes, "Yeah, you got the jog. Anytime you get the jog on a baseball field, not get yelled at."
That's Drew Verhagen warming up in the pen for the Tigers. Carlos grounded out his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Vinmar Gomez in the bullpen. Outside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Only 47 pitches for Zimmerman so far. 4 runs on 5 base hits. All 4 runs provided by Maikel Franco's 2 home runs. Carlos over toward the hole, backhanded by Iglesias. And Mayberry applies the tag, and there are 2 outs. And here goes Brad Ausmus. So that's going to be it for Zimmerman. So he's at 49 pitches. Rich Doobie had mentioned that he wanted him to be around 50 for the day. So instead of having him start another AB, he's decided to lift him right here. So we have a pitching change here at Bright House Field with the Phillies on top 4-3 thanks to 2 2-run home runs by Maikel Franco. We'll give you some particulars on the new right-hander when we return. By one, and Michael Franco has hit two-run home runs here this afternoon to give them a one-run lead against Jordan Zimmerman. And the Tigers will go to their bullpen. Drew Verhagen, so far in 2 spring games, he's been hit around a little bit, but it's hard to tell how a pitcher is after just 2 outings because they're usually short. But Verhagen takes over for Jordan Zimmerman here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 men down. Ben is just about done with his steak. And we want to thank Mark, who was downstairs. Mark was on the grill, and was nice enough to make Ben's birthday cake steak to his liking. And obviously,
I cut you a little piece right here. I don't know.
Appreciate that.
I even put it on the fork for you.
This is what he left me. That's it.
I'm all hard, aren't I?
I think Mark was very serious about whether you wanted it medium rare, or rare. I went with medium.
Medium is good.
Okay. So thanks to Mark.
Seasoning is excellent, though, Tom.
Thank you. Stassi lines one back through the middle, a base hit. That is his 6th hit of the spring. He is aboard with 2 men down.
It's a big leg kick, a lot of hand movement, but he gets the barrel to where it needs to be at the point of contact.
Here's Ryan Jackson. Verhagen last year did appear in 20 games for the Tigers at an ERA of 2.05. His numbers in the big leagues were a tad better than they were in the minor leagues. They were good in the minor leagues. His ERA combined in the minors between AA and AAA was 3.93. He had one problem last year, probably a little too many walks, 14 walks in 26 in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's too many.
Way outside, and now McCann is going to go out and chat with him.
Been impressed with some of the the spring training caps of a lot of these clubs. Not a big fan of this one.
You know, like the orange, with the orange D trimmed in navy blue.
I don't.
A little different.
Yeah, if you're sitting in a tree stand, it's okay.
There's a strike. It's 3-1.
I would prefer the navy blue cap with the orange D.
Tigers have not deviated their uniforms, their home uniforms, in years. You know, their road uniforms they've tinkered with a little bit. Well, the bottom just dropped out of that at 96 miles an hour.
Reminds me a lot of Verlander. And not just the name. Body style.
He's a big guy, 6'6". He has something in common with the Davis family.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. He hails from Vanderbilt University.
Ah. My brother Glenn went.
Runner goes. Pitch is. Did he go? Yes, says Phil Cuzzy. And the side is retired. But the Phillies do retake the lead. Michael Franco, just as he did in the 1st inning, slams a 2-run home run, this time in the 4th inning. 4-3 Phillies as we go to the top of the 5th here in Clearwater.
Good morning, buddy.
Later tonight, John Gonzalez recaps the headlines from Philly sports this week, including Sam Bradford's commitment to Philadelphia and Rocky getting snubbed by Oscar. Check out the 700 level show tonight at 5:30 and 10:30 right here on TCN, the Comcast Network. Phillies on top 4-3. Michael Franco has 2 home runs in this game is out. Nina is in. Darnell Sweeney, who came on to pinch run for Odubel Herrera, stays in the ball game to play center field. And Jeanmar Gomez, in his 3rd spring training game, will take over for Daniel Stumpf. And he will face Nate Shearholtz to start things off. Gomez 2 clean innings so far this spring. Off a solid season a year ago. First year with the Phils. An ERA of just over 3 in 2015. I would imagine his role is going to change with the ball club. Last year he was a guy that would pitch in the 6th, the 7th, or even the 8th innings of games, and I would think that's the same role he'll have this year.
As long as he continues to throw strikes like he has.
And the key for him is that he is a ground ball pitcher.
Yes.
So he can come in and face left-handers as well. So the key is to keep it down. One ball, one strike. In the air to right field. That ball is walloped. Williams going back, and it is gone. Oh, is it gone? Is it off the top of the wall? I guess it's off the top of the wall. Shearholtz is on his way to 3rd. And he's there with a triple. To his credit, he never stops. Well, that ball looked like it went out and came back over, but it couldn't have. There's no bounce out there on that berm. It'll be a triple for Shearholtz.
Good swing. And that ball would definitely have gone out on a normal day, but the wind really blowing in from right.
Yeah, right off the top of the fence.
He's got better eyes than we do. I thought a fan actually maybe throwing that back because I thought it was gone. But you're right, to his credit, he never stops.
Umpires kind of looked at each other. Usually you look at the umpires, you see them signal. They looked at each other before finally the second base umpire, Vic Carapazza, as Shearholtz was going to second base, gave the safe sign. There is Vic. So Shearholtz is over in scoring position. And James McCann, who homered his last time up, is the batter. The Phillies play the infield back here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's McCann's home run. Last batter there, Nola faced.
Got it up and in that jet stream. Like I said before, it did sound good, but the wind definitely helped it out. But it was a poor pitch by Aaron Nola, hanging breaking ball again. Fly ball,
Left center field. Goodell comes running in. Tagging at 3rd is Shearholtz. Goodell has it. Shearholtz just draws the throw. And it's one away. Dave Clark was kind of monitoring over at 3rd base.
It's a great pitch by Gomez. McCann knows that he's probably going to throw that sinker down and in. It's a matter of fact, a matter of him just staying inside it, shooting the ball up the middle, but was able to get in enough. Goodell plays it and throws it home. Shearholtz pretty fast for a big guy, but that ball definitely not deep enough.
Well, here's Mayberry, who had an extra base hit his last time up. Takes inside, 1-0. Kumar just has the edge of his foot on the right side of that rubber.
Pitch. Good luck with that one.
Did that ever affect you where the pitcher was lined up on the mound as far as the rubber goes?
I never really even looked at it.
Oh, really?
To be honest with you, no.
Did you notice it at all when you caught certain pitchers? Which part of the rubber they were on?
To be honest with you, no. It really, I never. That's something I never really picked up on or gave much attention to. Just trying to hit one back off his forehead.
Back toward the middle. Gomez has it, and he has Sherholtz caught between third and home. Nina running him down, throws it high, and Sherholtz is safe at the plate. Hey, give Sherholtz credit. I mean, he put on the afterburners, and he just pulled away from Nina, who waited too long to get rid of that baseball.
It looked like Nina was going to be able to get to him, and Sherholtz outran him. This is not going to make Pete McCannon happy.
You're right there. Sherholtz was just picking up speed, and Nina wasn't.
And also, Chooch got so far up the line where he could not recover the high throw. Didn't help either.
Well, and that's because I think Carlos was expecting that throw earlier. Would you agree with that? Is that why he got up the line like that?
Yes. You want to close that distance. That's why you saw Chooch run up that third base line. You want to close the distance.
I think it was as surprised as anybody that A, he didn't get it, and that B, Nina didn't tag Sherholtz. Out of play.
Ideally, in a rundown at the big league level, you want to make 2 throws at the most. Now, we've seen some guys, I know some guys are quick and they're able to dodge those throws, but definitely one that Nina would want back.
The end of the bat, spinning up the third base line, and it'll stay foul.
Jim Mark credit, though, because man on third, nobody out. He induces a shallow fly ball, then a comebacker. So realistically, Phillies mostly 99 out of 100 times they're going to make that rundown and complete the rundown and get an out. So you would have a man on first with 2 outs and eliminate that run most likely. It's a good job of pitching by Jim Mark.
Swing and a miss, and Romine is struck out. It's that changeup we were talking about. And they're 2 away. McDonald's opening night will be Tuesday, April 12th, when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres. It's also a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night that all fans 15 and older coming to the ballpark will receive that opening night T-shirt right there. Brought to you by McDonald's. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Here's Whitten Bernard, who has been on base twice today. He's 2 for 2. Scored a run in the 4th inning. The ball sweeps away from the end of the bat. It's 0-1.
How did you score that rundown? Fielder's choice 1-6-2.
Fielder's choice 1-5-2.
1-5-2.
Yeah, but there's no put out.
But no. Okay.
Just put a 1-5-2 in the note column next to John Mayberry.
I don't have a note column.
Pop an RBI next to Mayberry's name.
Is that an RBI?
You know what? Let's check on that. I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't think it is.
You don't think it is? The world of scoring, Ben. I'll bet you a T-bone steak. (0-2) pitch.
Good pitch.
And Ruiz hangs on. Side is retired. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jenmar Gomez. Tigers do score a run. Tie the ball game up at 4. A little miscue by the Phils defensively. Tigers tied at 4. The Fanatic pulling out one of his friendly skits. Our buddy Bill, who's one of the security guards here at Bright House Field, did a little La Bamba. Murph, watch out because the Fanatic is trying to get that ATV out of there.
You just got to watch it down here in the corner.
You really do.
Yeah, it's a heavy trafficked area for sure. Hey, so some interesting news. Of course, fans who have gone on to Phillies.com over the past couple of months have had an opportunity to vote for the Phillies Wall of Fame, which happens every year. And the finalists, well, they are in. There you see the list. Jim Fregosi, Jim Constanti is on that. Scott Rowland, Jim Thome, and the great Manny Trio. Those are the 5 finalists. So now, guys, what happens is a committee, a group of Phillies executives and media members will get together and pick the Wall of Fame recipient for this year, 2016. Then, of course, the celebration later in the season. Some great names on that list. All of those guys seem deserving for sure. It'll be interesting to see who ends up on the wall this year, guys.
The ball is lined to center field by Alfaro, and the catch is made by Bernard.
Murph, knee-jerk, who would you go with?
Wow. I covered Jim Thome, I covered Scott Rowland, I covered Jim Fregosi. Those 3 guys I knew. But God, I love Manny Trio growing up too. So yeah. It's a tough choice. If I had to vote, I think I might go with Gentleman Jim Thome. What a great player he was. His years with the Phillies probably weren't his best baseball-wise, but his contributions to baseball throughout the years have been fantastic. As we know, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. And what a great guy to be around. And a very important part, I think, with the turnaround of the Phil's
I would agree with
organization.
That.
Yes. As the new stadium was built, the new ballpark was built, Jim Thome was such a big part of that. So I think he deserves to be up on the wall at some point, maybe this year. But any of those guys would be good choices.
Yeah, I'd love to see Jim Constanti get the recognition. I mean, I know it's a different era of Phillies baseball, but he was an important part of that era as well.
Yeah, Ben and I don't remember Jim Constanti playing. I know you do, Tom. But if you look at his numbers, you look at his accomplishments, certainly another guy that's deserving.
I like all the names, though. I'm with Murph, though, as far as Manny Trio. You remember when we were kids that you're trying to replicate that throw from second base.
And just an awesome dude.
Yeah.
Great guy.
He was fun to watch.
Too bad, Ben, you couldn't make the transition like Manny did from behind the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're reminded every day of Jim Fregosi here at Bright House Field, and obviously Jim passed a couple of years ago, and the picture of Jim that's in the lunchroom downstairs where all the scouts sit. It's basically looking over on the scouts. As Featherston fouls that one at the plate. Three balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Featherston.
So Alfaro line out for the first out of the inning there. Not easy. You're a youngster. You want to make an impression. You're DHing. You have a longer ball game. It's now 2:58. But you wait that long for just your second at bat. I mean, he scolded that ball to center field, but you want to get up there. You want to hit. You want to hit. You want to make an impression. And nice of him to show a little bit of patience, get the pitch that he wanted, and still drive the baseball. Not easy to DH, especially when you're a youngster. Now, if you're catching, you're able to get back there.
It's interesting you say that. He was out here running the lines during the inning breaks to look to get his legs loose because it's been such a long time since he's gotten up there and then been able to take some swings.
Yeah.
2 outs here in the 5th inning.
The Phillies do have the batting cage underneath behind the third base dugout.
Correct, yeah.
Helps out tremendously, but nothing like the real thing. Nothing like being in the game.
Luis Garcia has been warming up in the bullpen. Looks like he'll be the next Phillies pitcher when we go to the top of the 6th inning. So Michael Crota, who was throwing for the Tigers. Verhagen in relief of Jordan Zimmerman, who went 3 2/3, 5 hits and 4 earned runs today. As Goodell takes a hack at the first one, 0-1.
Tom, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that really hit the spot. Thank you again.
Your birthday steak?
Yes.
Today is Ben's 39th birthday, and he does not like sweets, any form of sweets. So we got him a T-bone.
And I did save the fillet part of the steak for last. You had a sample, and very good.
Excellent. And now you're in search of somebody's dog to give the bone to.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to do? Throwing out looking for volunteers.
Our stage manager, Anita, has a dog, so she said she'd gladly take it home.
Wow. We have hands being raised in the production truck looking for a bone. 2-2 pitch. Fouled back over the screen. It remains 2-2.
It's a good pitch by Verhagen, but a better job of Goodell to fight that ball off. Not a whole lot you can do, but might go either way. Home plate umpire Marty Foster back there, and good job of just spoiling that pitch.
Swing and a miss. He threw a high heater. And Goodell has struck out. 2 strikeouts for Verhagen in his inning in the third of work. I believe completed 5 here at Bright House Field. Luis Garcia is coming in. So we go to the top of the 6th inning here at Bright House Field. It's a 4-4 ball game. Jordan Zimmerman went 3 2/3 for the Tigers. Aaron Nola went 2 2/3 for the Phils. James McCann has a 2-run home run. Michael Franco has 2 homers in this ball game. So now as we go to the 6th inning, Luis Garcia will take over. 3rd game for Luis. In fact, the Phillies have a new battery. Gabriel Lino will take over behind the plate. David Lowe is the new left fielder for the Phils. Pete McCann slowly making changes here today. Well, yesterday Hector Neris came back after having a troublesome outing here at Bright House Field and pitched really well. Garcia pitched in that same game as Hector did last week. And we'll see how he adjusts and keeps the ball down and keeps it within the strike zone.
I'd like to see the effort level go down and the accuracy go up a little bit. I think these guys are just trying to go harder. Look at that radar gun. That's not how you win a job.
Iglesias takes inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. 4-4 game here in the top of the 6th inning. Down and away, and it's 2-0. play, so he's back even 2-2.
Two counts, in my opinion, are key for Garcia, because he doesn't have the command that he's able to go, waste the pitch, and go full count. He needs to make it happen on 2-2 counts.
Now, I would think that best case scenario, you'd like it to be even before 2-2. You'd like it to be 0-2 or 1-2, correct?
Ideally, but you can't fall behind 2-0.
Yeah. Boy, he has good stuff. We saw that last year. He's coupled with his command his first year with the Phillies. Last year at times, but not as much. There's a line drive, base hit to right field. So Iglesias has been on base 4 times today, and he's going to get to second on this one. Williams' throw not in time. He's 3 for 3. 2 singles and a double.
He's had himself a heck of a day. Fastball just needs to be located a little bit better.
It's a good day.
Yeah.
Makes that ride back to Lakeland a little easier. Dixon Machado comes in to pinch run. So Iglesias' afternoon is complete. And here is Steven Moya. So we got a miss to Moya. Moya stands 6'7", 260 pounds. In fact, the antics that were going on before the game between Omar Vizquel and the Fanatic. Now, Omar is not a big guy, so they were going back and forth, and Omar was going to get a bodyguard, and it was Moya who he brought out of the dugout after he brought John Mayberry Jr. out. And Moya is bigger than John Mayberry Jr.
One of those guys that gets in the box, you're like, I ain't throwing this guy a heater.
100 home runs during his minor league career. The Tigers have a handful of bright prospects, some of which they got from the Blue Jays last year in the David Price deal. Moya, not acquired from the Blue Jays, but is one of their top prospects. And he's down on strikes.
Looking breaking ball here by Garcia. Bottom really drops out of it.
Here's Justin Upton.
But you have that option when you're working ahead. It's 0-2. You have some pitches you can fool around with.
Outside, and he swings through it. The ball's in 1 strike to Justin Upton.
When you're throwing 95, 96, 97, and then you drop that pitch, it's like, you know, you start to wonder, why can't you do that every time? And it's easier said than done, but that's what can be so infuriating for Pete Buchanan and Bob McClure when they watch him, because he falls behind, but he has the stuff. We know he's got it.
Justin Upton represents some of the changes that the Tigers have gone through since last year. The addition of Maben as the potential center fielder. Francisco Rodriguez is the closer. Zimmerman, who we saw today. Avila leaves the Tigers organization for the White Sox. Joe Nathan hurt last year. Simon was a pickup last year. Outside, 1-2. Check swing. No appeal for Marty Foster, even though Lino wanted it. It's 2-2.
Did he go? No, he did not.
pulls that one up the third base line. Nina. Boy, Upton does run well. An excellent base running by Machado to go over to third. The ball was not hit that hard, but that was a really impressive break on the part of Justin Upton, whose afternoon is complete.
He was moving pretty good down the line there. When you're a hitter, you smell a hit. Good job by Machado there taking third base. Anytime you can get to third base with less than 2 outs, make your skipper very happy.
Well, Upton's day is done. Jason Krzan comes on to pinch run, and here's Jacoby Jones, who's up for the first time, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Jones does have a home run this spring. Like Aaron Nola, he is out of LSU. Originally a 19th round selection by the Astros at a high school. Went to Baton Rouge and was picked in the 3rd round by the Pirates. One ball, one strike. Garcia looking to roll a double play ball here in the top of the 6th. Stassi with a nice play to smother that baseball.
He's been a catcher in his former life. He went down to block it like a catcher. He did pick it cleanly with his glove, but it did ricochet. He would have been down on his knees to block it with his chest.
Well, he's ahead now, 1 ball and 2 strikes, trying to work out of it here in the top of the 6th inning. It's an 18-pitch inning so far for Garcia. Off the end of the bat, a foul ball. Machado goes back to third base, and Krzan goes back to first. I wonder what it's like for a pitcher, though, a relief pitcher during spring training, when you're trying to find it. You're trying to find that command. Some guys have it right out of the chute, and with others struggle out of the chute. You wonder if that rolls through their mind and it affects everything else that they're doing. Guys are tough to put away today.
They sure are. They do have 11 hits through 5 1/3, so putting balls in play, and results have shown.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 95-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. Second strikeout for Garcia. It's 9 strikeouts for Phillies pitching here today.
Here it is. Hit it.
All right, now Mike Gerber will bat.
Jones really pulling his head off that pitch. Couldn't catch up to it.
Gerber batting in the spot vacated by Nate Scherholtz, who tripled and scored his last time. Gerber 167 this spring. Outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. You can see the explosiveness that he has, and we saw it a lot last year. Just trying to make it as consistent as possible. Season ago at 3.51 ERA. Garcia spending his 3rd year in the Phillies organization. Well, the runner will be off from first base.
Nino will come out and say, everyone across the diamond. Reason for that is Eisen's going to have a good jump from first base. Most likely beat any throw. That infielder would make the second base, so go all the way across the diamond on the first base.
He does go from first, and a strike 3 called on the outside part of the plate. Well, it wasn't pretty, but Luis Garcia struck out 3 in the inning. The Phillies pitchers have struck out 10 this afternoon. He used a lot of pitches, but was able to get through the top of the 6th. He leaves a couple, and we'll move to the bottom of the 6th here at Bright House. By Citizens Bank on Sunday, April 17th. It's a 1:35 first pitch, and all kids 14 and under will receive the Fanatic Flare Hair Visor. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Fanatics had himself a busy day here today. Diamond Outfitters is the official store here at Bright House Field. Boy, they have some good stuff if you ever find your way down here, including the clothes that we wear here on the telecast. Bobby Parnell, formerly of the New York Mets, is trying to win a job in the Tigers bullpen this year, coming back from Tommy John surgery, and he will take over as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We are tied up at 4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Darnell Sweeney will lead it off, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Parnell at one time would throw in the high 90s as his new battery mate is Austin Green. Mets thought that he was going to be their closer a couple of years ago, and just got hit around and then obviously sustained the injury. Sweeney slaps it foul toward Juan Samuel. Dominic Ficuccello is over at first base for the Tigers. Tommy Field is at second base. Machado stays in to play shortstop. And Jones is over at third base for the Tigers. That one is pulled down the right field line. Nice catch. A well broken in glove.
It's odd to see a grown man bring a glove to a ball game, but that's why you bring it.
I brought a glove to the game once.
It worked out for you, though.
Sure did. Otherwise, I would have shattered every bone in my hand. Up and in. Gerber, who came on the pinch hit, is in right field for the Tigers, as Okar is in center field. And around in left field is Moya. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sweeney. And Sweeney sends it out toward Moya, venturing back, and it's over his head. A 1-hop off the wall. Might have gotten too close to that wall, and Sweeney's going to pull into second base with a stand-up double.
Nice job of going with the pitch here. That ball came off the bat very hot. And Moya really didn't know what to do with it. Gets his foot down and drives that breaking ball towards left field. Yes, the wind does help a little bit, but Moya with a just not a very good route out there in left.
He didn't look comfortable at all venturing back out there. Well, now Nino will come up with the go-ahead run at second. Sweeney with good speed leading off second base. And that ball is pulled toward the hole. A base hit into left field. Sweeney had to go back, and now it's kicked by Moya. Juan Samuel realizes it, and Sweeney's going to score. Nina is out going to second base, but the Phillies take the lead 5-4. Boy, Sammy was right on that as soon as the ball was kicked loose. He just kept on waving Sweeney.
Yeah, smart play here by Sammy. You're right, though. Sweeney does have to hold up in case third baseman does get to that ball. Jones. Moya comes in and kicks it, and there was no hesitating. Moya not with a very strong throw. You see here, he picks up Sammy. Go, go, go.
He was also peeking a little bit, too.
He was. I like that aggressiveness.
Nick Williams, the batter. And Williams slams one deep to right center field as Okar going back, and it's off the base of the wall. And Williams will glide into second base with a stand-up double. Ball came off the bat quickly.
Sure did. Good looking swing here. First pitch hunting by Nick Williams. That is a elevated fastball down the middle. It's already fence high, Tom. You just got to tap it.
It's that easy, is it?
Mike Piazza would always say, it's already fence high. It's going to tap it. It's going to tap it. I wish it were that easy, Mike.
Here is Gabriel Nino up for the first time. He takes strike one. It's 0-1.
When Nino comes into this game and replaces Maikel Franco, and I know it's spring training, but Maikel Franco's got to be feeling really good about himself going into that clubhouse. 2 homers, 4 RBIs.
I think the same could be said for the Phillies offense as a whole. They have 9 more hits here this afternoon. including that double by Williams. I think the thing about it for Franco is the last 2 springs he has not had the same kind of success. A little more comfortable now, a little more understanding of his role as Williams just gets back.
He just strikes me as the kind of hitter. He's the man. So he's in this lineup. He's the man. He's the guy when you do scouting reports against the Phillies, you say, what's the one guy you're not going to let beat you? It's Maikel Franco.
Absolutely.
And I think he's the guy that can handle that.
Jones makes the long throw across the diamond. Well, just to kind of refresh your memory about today, here are the 2 home runs.
Ball was smoked out to left field. And then in the 4th, really pulls his hands in. That ball was elevated and up and in. And he pulls those hands through and blisters another ball out over the left field fence. You never want to get too high or too low as a hitter, but he's got to be feeling really good about himself.
I would think comfortable is the right way to put it. Stassi a little low. He's 1 for 2. He's only been up twice. This is his 3rd time through here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
You know what I'm saying, though, Tom, about guys that they perform well when they're in a good lineup when you have multiple players. He strikes me as a guy, and I'm not saying the Phillies only have the one hitter. Definitely not saying that. But what I'm saying is, even if it was just him that was only producing at a given time, I think he's the guy that would look to continue to do the damage.
Right.
Kind of like Ryan Howard would carry the Phillies for years, it seemed. Good on his back. He hit you a 3-run homer when you needed it. To a breaking ball. Probably wasn't seeing that last year in Reading.
He may have by the end of the year. Comes back again, a 2-1 breaking pitch. It's 2. It's 3-1. That one just missed.
Way low, Tom.
By Marty Foster standards. Ryan Jackson waits on deck. And ball 4. Stassi draws the walk. And Ryan Jackson now the batter. Falls off the glove of Green. Williams going to 3rd, and he's going to get there. So they score that one.
Ball just took off.
Yeah, it did. I think Green just turned his glove the wrong way. Or never did turn it.
Marty Foster got the worst of it.
Yeah, Tom Hagen's coming over to check on Marty Foster as you see Williams reading that and taking off.
Looks like he got him on the inside of that left foot, his ankle. And their shin guards pretty much only cover the front of their foot. And the shin guard as well. And they have snuck in there on that ankle bone.
Look at the far left of the screen. You can see his reaction.
On inside that left leg. You're right, that ball just took off on Green. He didn't know which way to turn his glove.
Yeah, and I think for a guy like Green, I mean, Parnell, when he's right, his ball moves. Parnell probably hit the bottom of his comeback from Tommy John surgery in September of last year against the Phillies. He wasn't a part of the Mets run in the postseason. Phillies won that game 14-8, and they battered him around. And after that, the Mets decided to put him back on the disabled list. So he's looking for a clean slate in Detroit. 1 ball, no strikes to Ryan Jackson. Breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Jackson 0 for 2. He's flied to right. He's also struck out here this afternoon.
Good breaking ball there by Parnell. Right there, when he was with the Mets, he was pretty much gas, gas, gas.
Righty and a lefty warming up in the bullpen. Prada's the right-hander. Saw him before. The ball is blocked by Green, but read by Stassi, and he's going to go to second base.
I don't know how he blocked this ball and kept it in front of him.
Because it was so far out in front of the plate.
Way in front of the dish. How far out in front of the plate this is. I mean, that is literally 5 feet in front of home plate. My goodness. Great play by Green. That was intentional grounding time.
You did want a pitcher earlier to throw one toward the grass. Off the fingertips of Cody Ashe. And a strike 3 call. Jackson down, looking, side is retired. The Phillies get 1 in the inning. They take the lead. We'll go to the top of the 7th. Phillies on top 5-4. Insider Jim Salisbury on Twitter and on CSNPhilly.com. Jimmy was in the clubhouse today with the rest of the beat writers, talking to some of the young prospects who were sent down to the minor leagues before the start of the ball game. Zach Eflin, Jake Thompson, Mark Appel. All three, as we mentioned before, handled it very well. There's Roman Quinn and Freddie J.P. Crawford talking in the dugout. We have not seen either one here today. I think Roman is scheduled to play at some point. JP looks like he's just going to work on his hand-eye coordination. Luis Garcia will begin the top of the 7th inning. And will do so against Austin Green, the catcher. Slider that's in there for a strike. It's 0-2. I don't think you'll see Garcia finish this inning. Colton Murray is warming up in the pen as we speak, but you may want to see him extend himself a little bit. There's so many different roles that are kind of up for grabs when it comes to the bullpen. And Pete sure is getting a chance to see a lot of these guys. Now, some of it's been jumbled because we've mentioned the illness that's been going through the clubhouse, the flu-like symptoms. As Green gets a piece of it.
It's hard to believe that just some of these relievers' second, third appearances, even though it's March 10th. The number of split squad games. Coming into camp, 66 players in camp. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I think some of these guys will get a chance to be back on the backfields. I mean, Jeremy Hellickson, who was supposed to pitch yesterday, was back in camp today. You may see him on the backfield sometime the next day or so. Johnny Cordero, the hard-throwing right-hander, who was acquired in the Ben Revere trade from the Toronto Blue Jays, had a little biceps tendonitis. He actually threw yesterday on the backfield just to kind of get his feet under him. We may eventually see him up here, but he might get some work in down in the backfields before seeing some time in the big field. Stassi shading his eyes from the sun, makes the catch, and 1 out. So now Dominic Ficuccello will be the batter. And Bob McClure is going to go to the bullpen. He's already run out and started to signal to the pen, so Murray must be ready to go. So Ficuccello will face another right-hander, but it will not be Luis Garcia. So a pitching change. Colton's wondering if they did make the signal, but Bob did signal as he ran out of the pen. He's already taken the baseball from Luis Garcia. Pitching change here at Bright House Field. Colton Murray coming on to try to finish off the top of the 7th inning. Saturday, April 2nd, when the Phillies return home to Citizens Bank Park. They got a couple exhibition games, including one against the Phillies futures. Some of the young players, including some of the guys we saw go down to the minor leagues today. Mark Appel, Zach Eflin, guys like that. Maybe J.P. Crawford or Roman Quinn will be at Citizens Bank Park facing off against the Phillies. It's all part of the Phillies future presented by PGW. See the top minor league prospects as they go head to head with the Phils. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. 5-4 Phillies on top. They have one man down. Colton Murray is the new pitcher for the Phils, our throwing right-hander. Third spring game, 2 scoreless innings so far. And he'll be facing Dominic Cucurella, who came on to play first base. Out of the University of Arkansas, he was drafted twice by the Tigers. Once out of high school and then eventually drafted again out of college. He gained about 10 spots in the draft going to the University of Arkansas, and said, like a lot of kids have said before, I was drafted, I just wasn't ready. Wasn't ready mentally, I wasn't ready physically. The ball's at 1 strike, and he lines that one over the glove of Featherston into left field. So we're bored here in the 7th inning. Well, this Saturday the Phillies will face the Toronto Blue Jays, and we'll be back on the air here at Bright House Field on Comcast Sportsnet beginning at 1 p.m. Scheduled to be David Buchanan and R.A. Dickey. We shall see. Here's Tommy Field up for the first time. It's 0-1 Field. Murray, now 25 years old, got a taste of the big leagues last year in 8 games with the Phils. An ERA of 5.87. Had a solid year in the minor leagues. Numbers were a little bit better in AAA than in AA, but very good overall. 52 appearances, an ERA of 3.01. He's a strikeout pitcher, Ben. So because of that, the door is wide open for him to possibly make this bullpen out of spring training, or eventually as the season moves on. The fact that he's able to average a strikeout per inning pitched.
He's definitely have his work cut out for him, and it was something that he'll tell you himself was not expecting last year to get called up to the big leagues. But you're right, he's going to have to strike some guys out. He's a power pitcher. You can see it. Mid-90s fastball, big overhand curveball. How does that play with Pete Maccannon's bullpen? Bob McClure's pitching staff.
The other part about him too is that he's got an excellent mentality. He's out of the University of Kansas. Went to high school in Kansas. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tommy Field. Off the end of the bat, Stassi has it, goes to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. That was not an easy play. Only because of the way the ball was spinning off the bat of Tommy Field.
And that's why it's so much easier for being a left-handed first baseman. Get in your glove, you don't have to switch lanes. Make the easy transition to Featherston at shortstop. Very smooth.
Under control.
Under control and always thinking ahead. I think it's more imperative for a first baseman or a catcher, shortstop, middle infielder to think ahead because you're involved in most plays. If the ball is hit to me, to this side, how many outs are? Where am I going with the baseball? And a lot is instinctual. He seems to have those baseball instincts.
Off the hands, that one's going to sneak into right field, a base hit. Field can run. He's around second, but he's going to hold up there. He's not going to test the arm of Williams. Tigers have 2 on with 2 out. Zokar is able to pick up a base hit, and that means Machado will bat. Nick
Williams is a very good outfielder and gets this ball, but outfield, like you said, does run well, but not going to test Nick Williams there with 2 outs. Doesn't want to make the 3rd out at third base. You run well, stay at second. You're going to be able to score from second on a single.
I have to admit, there are times, though, in some of these games where I'd like to see them try to run just so we can see the outfielder's arms. Because we read scouting reports and understand that, let's say Nick Williams has an excellent arm, but let's see it in action. And as Machado takes down and away, 1-0. Played by Lino to block that one. It's 2-0.
That was a nice play. It is something how the Phillies really had gone from hardly any minor league catching depth to a surplus.
Right.
And I guess you really could say it's a surplus.
I would agree with that, particularly from a defensive standpoint. And with Knapp and Alfaro offensively. For a while it was Tommy Joseph and waiting for Tommy to get up here, but then all the concussions sort of sidelined him from being a catcher. He's now a first baseman. Three balls and no strikes to Machado. That's in there. Tommy was up here last week actually as an extra player. He never did get into a game. It's going to be interesting to see where he winds up, whether an extra bat off the bench in AAA or back down in AA. But Phillies have a handful of first basemen too. There's leadoff. Stassi's going to give this a look over toward the seats and out of play.
And you might say, well, Lino, here's Lino, and you hear about all the great prospects with Knapp and Alfaro. But just because you're mixed in with those guys, you say, well, there's really no chance. You're still auditioning for 29 other teams if you want to look at it that way. Just because there's a roadblock doesn't mean other organizations have that depth at catching.
Right.
Maybe that's a guy they would like down the road or see a potential future in their organization.
Runners go. Pitches hit out toward right field. Williams heading back. He's got to the spot. And he makes the catch. Side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left for the Tigers. It's time to stretch here in Clearwater with the Phillies on top by 1. appreciate that. Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Tigers will go back to their bullpen. Jorge Alfaro will get a chance to bat for just the 3rd time here this afternoon. Jairo Labort is the new pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. This is the 2nd spring game. Labort, who last year split time between the Blue Jays and the Tigers, came over in that David Price deal. I mean, he is a big time prospect. Left-hander who's just 22 years old. He is from the Dominican Republic. Good size, 6'4" and 205 pounds. Alfaro fouls it back. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. He has never pitched above a single A. Excuse me. Started in the Dominican Summer League for the Toronto Blue Jays, and then 2 different years in rookie ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. His projection is to be as a starting pitcher. That doesn't work out. He'd probably be a pretty effective left-handed reliever.
Must have 3 pitches then. Unless you're a Randy Johnson.
Inside.
Pitch there at 95. What a good arm. Big body kid for 22 years old.
Alfaro, did he go? Yes, he did, says the first base umpire, Vic Carapaza. And there's 1 away here in the 7th inning.
You're looking for a pitch to hit, and this ball just runs in on Jorge. He was not able to check his swing.
Well, had some life on it, too.
It did.
Here's Featherston, who came on to replace Freddie Galvis. Has 1 at bat so far. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to second base. 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, Marty Foster's having himself a tough day. He's going to need a day off after this one. That ball just got a piece of him.
I think his left leg again.
I think it did. And you can see why Tigers are high on this kid if he can command whatever it is he has. That ball is ripped deep down the left field line, angling toward the corner, and it is a foul ball by about a foot, if that.
Gets this ball inside, and without the wind blowing, he definitely keeps that ball fair. I think you're right, about a foot.
Featherston asking the home plate umpire where that one was.
He reminds me of Francisco Liriano with Pittsburgh.
Well, I wonder if he can get the changeup like Liriano. He'll have himself a heck of a career. You know, the David Price trade for the Tigers, they hated getting rid of him. They were still in the mix for a postseason berth, but they did get Matt Boyd, Daniel Norris, and LeBort. It's tough to not take those prospects. In fact, the Blue Jays, even though David Price helped them to the postseason and was electric for them, he was a rental player, but they gave up an awful lot.
Those Jays were all in last year.
Here's ball 4. And Featherston draws a walk. Well, this weekend here in Palm Harbor, or the Clearwater area, will be the Valspar Championship, which you can see on NBC this weekend. And Ben, you got a chance to play the other day in the Pro-Am, the Celebrity Pro-Am, and you were playing for Jameis Winston.
I was.
Who then arrived, and you said, all right, you can take over, but I need a photo.
I said, and he was just as nice as could be. He was really, really nice. Apparently he had to work out that morning, so right. I played the first, I believe, 5 holes with his group, and then he came out, we switched cards, and I said, would you mind me getting a photo? That ball sails down the right field line.
Featherston's going to keep on going over to third. Fortunately, the Hooters ball girl did not back up the play. She originally was going to try to. That'll be an E1. Look out.
Just airmails it. Locatelli just not able to get it despite his height. Featherston motors into third base easily.
Breaking ball outside to David Lowe. All right, so continue with your effort the other day in the golf battle.
So I played the first few holes, and then I had to take a respite. I went to the driving range, and I'm on the driving range with all these pros. Sit next to Boo Weekly, John Sundin.
You drive them all?
I hit a few out there.
Good.
But the work ethic these guys had and how straight they hit the ball, it was fun to play.
Up and in, 3 balls and no strikes to Lowe.
But Jameis Winston was very, very nice. I felt bad for him because in the Pro-Am, he had spectators out there with all memorabilia, and they came just all over him.
Your fault.
Like bees on honey. And it was tough. And then later on, I had to substitute for Derek Brooks, NFL Hall of Famer.
There's ball 4, and Lowe draws a walk.
So you'd see your name on the golf cart. First it was Jameis Winston, and then my second group was Derek Brooks, and you see all these fans run up. They had this sheet of who's in what group, and then they looked of disappointment on their faces when they saw it was me.
Well, there's Rich Doobie out to the mound to talk to his young left-hander, the former Phillies pitching coach. Rich Doobie, McBillmeyer, Wally Joyner, all part of the Tigers staff, all former Phillies coaches. Nice to see Dukes today. A big part of the Phillies 08 World Championship. Tigers coaches, including Omar Vizquel over at first base, Dave Clark at third, and Gene Lamont we mentioned. Mickey's in the bullpen. David Newhan, who also played for the Phils, the assistant hitting coach.
My former teammate in San Diego, David Newhan.
Mel Sweeney hit by a pitch. That's a little painful.
That's a lot painful.
Yeah, bases are now loaded. Nina's coming up.
He does the right thing. He turns in. That's exactly how you want to take a pitch.
Well, the Tigers will set up their defense, their infield defense, to turn 2. Nina singled his only time up. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, coaching staff. He's played against Omar, but Brad Austin's played against for years. Wally Joyner played with in San Diego. Alan Trammell was one of our coaches in San Diego. Very experienced coaching staff over there. Very knowledgeable. I talked to Brad Austin today. He said, our team's not any different from the other 29 teams. We need our starting pitching to stay healthy.
Led by Verlander, the guy we saw today, Jordan Zimmerman, Anibal Sanchez. Fly ball, shallow right field. Out on it is Field. And he'll make the catch. Bump it to the right fielder. Gerber coming to the plate is Featherston, and he is out at home plate. And the Tigers did a lot of things right there, mostly by Field, who took the hit and was able to spin and make the throw. A double play to wrap up the 7th. The Phillies threaten but do not score. Boy, Field showing a real strong arm to finish off that double play as we go to the 8th here at Bright House Fields. And more new low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Well, as we go to the top of the 8th inning, Phillies up by 1. Tigers with 13 hits here this afternoon. The Phillies pitchers, though, have racked up a bunch of strikeouts. They have 10 strikeouts. Here is Steven Moya, who was up for the 2nd time. He struck out his 1st time up, facing Colton Murray this time. First pitch is over. And it's 0-1.
A changeup right there, I think, by Colton Murray. Last year we pretty much saw it fastball, breaking ball, overhand curveball.
Left side. The shortstop Featherston is under it. He makes the catch. One away. Well, there's some news going on around baseball as we entered spring training. And for more on that, let's go to Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, yeah, some rule changes this year, and we all remember back in the postseason last year when Chase Utley was playing with the Dodgers, Game 2 of their postseason series, and the takeout slide of Ruben Tejada, which eventually ended up in a broken leg for Tejada. Utley was suspended, and then that was kind of rescinded this year. However, Major League Baseball has addressed this play. There is a new rule in place, and I was talking to Mickey Morandini about it, who is the Phil's base running coach this year, and he basically said, you know, that they're trying to impart 2 things to their players this year about this rule. First, just exactly what the rule is. You no longer can hit the player before you hit the ground. You have to hit the ground first. You can't slide past the bag. You have to hit the ground before the bag, and you have to be an arm's length within, and you're no longer allowed to roll into the infielder as well. However, he did say the infielders now have to be on the bag. There's no more vicinity rule, and he thinks that really does, you know, kind of favor the base runner. So he just wanted to make sure that the Phillies players know you're still allowed to take out a middle infielder. You just have to do it within the rules of play, and they're working on that. They're talking about that, and they're hoping that that comes into play for their guys this year. They don't want them to be afraid to go into a middle infielder because you're still allowed to do that. You just have to do it the right way.
Yeah, and I think the rolling part of it has always been part of the rule. I think it's being enforced even more now. And Chase, his suspension was cleared. I think part of that is that he missed the next 2 games because of what, well, it looked like it may have been a concussion, but he missed the next 2 games. That one is hit towards shortstop. Nice play by Featherston. That's a clean double play. And the side is retired. 6-4-3. We'll talk more about that when we come back to Bright House Field. Colton Murray with a very clean 8th inning. Got a clean inning from Colton Murray in the top half of the 8th inning. And now as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, we have a new pitcher for the Tigers. Boy, Vanderbilt guys are all over the place today. Ted.
Everywhere. Commodores abounding.
13th round selection out of high school originally, and then a 2nd round selection out of Vanderbilt in 2013. His 2nd game in the spring. Last year he was in Lakeland, pitched in 27 games as a starter. It was 9-11 with a 3.43 ERA. And he will face Nick Williams to start things off. Phil's looking to add a little insurance here in the bottom of the 8th inning. You know, the double play, which was beautiful, ended the discussion.
Yes, it did.
Out of the 3 of us, you played, so you know what it's like to go into an infielder in the middle of the diamond as you see Frieri warming up in the bullpen. I think one thing that stands out is that Major League Baseball is trying to, improve the safety, particularly with Tejada's injury, which cost him the rest of the postseason. I think they're just trying to streamline it and make sure that everybody understands the rules.
Yes. And you're right. There is some really damage you could do, obviously, with Tejada breaking his leg. And you have to know how to slide, which I think that you've heard me talk about this numerous times. I think is a lost art. People don't know how to slide anymore. And doing it the right way. There's a way to break up a double play, and there's not a way.
Williams takes a breaking ball, 1-1. Well, and I think, all the talk about Chase, we've watched Chase's entire career. I would never deem him a dirty player. I think it was a late slide. That's what it was more than anything else.
It wasn't a slide.
A late tumble.
And guys, that was what there was so much debate after it happened, whether or not, as you said, Tom, is a dirty play or was outside of the rules. And the reason the suspension got taken away is because technically it wasn't against the rules. The way the rule was written, they really couldn't get Utley on a rules violation. However, the new rule will prevent plays like that, because what Chase did was he slid so late that he hit the player before he hit the ground, and that's what they're trying to regulate out of the game. And you can understand why, because it's dangerous.
Well, the rolling part of it, that was part of the rules, but it wasn't. I guess it wasn't enforced the way it's going to be enforced now.
And if you look at the play, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this because Chase Utley, what he's done for the organization, but I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it one bit. There was no way double play was going to be turned there. I know Chase is a hard player. I know that's the way he's played his entire career. I don't fault him for playing as hard as he has, but I didn't like that slide one bit.
Yeah, but Ben, when you stop and think about it, I mean, if you're a Dodgers fan, it was such a big play in that game, and,
yes.
and you know, it turned the momentum of that game as well. And you know, when he's on your team, a play like that, you love to see it. Again, within the rules, and at that point, it really was within the rules.
Yes,
at least the way it was written.
1 ball, or no balls and 2 strikes to Stassi.
But I do hope there is some clarity in that this season, and
right.
guys really learn a bit more about the new rule moving forward.
But I also think a big part of that now is that the middle infielder needs to be touching that bat, and that's something we haven't seen over the past couple of years.
1-2-3 inning for the Tigers. So we're going to go to the 9th inning. The Phils are looking for their 6th consecutive victory. They lead it 5-4 as we go to the 9th inning. Lead, trying to win their 6th consecutive ball game this spring. They've won 7 of 8, and they're tied with the Blue Jays for the most wins. Ernesto Frieri will be the new pitcher. 3rd ball game for Frieri. So far 4 hits and 2 walks, so 6 base runners for Frieri. One of the veterans who has closed before and is trying to win a spot in this bullpen, whether it's as a closer or just a setup guy or an extra man in that pen. And we'll face some of the young Tigers players as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Tigers 6-4, the Phillies 7-3-1 so far this spring. Here's Mike Gerber to start things off for the Tigers. Tigers with 14 hits here this afternoon.
We went through that story on 6 outs. They were the 6 fastest outs
I
think we've had all spring.
Taken outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Gerber struck out his only time up. He went down looking. That one is lined out to right center field, and it's going to go to the wall. On 1 hop, and Gerber shuffling his way to second is thinking 3. The throw by Jackson won't be in time, and it's a leadoff triple for the Tigers.
That was loud off the bat. Ball's down. Gerber goes down and gets it, shoots at the right center gap. What helped Gerber out was the fact that it hit the bottom of the fence and kind of just stayed on the track. It didn't jet back out toward one of the outfielders.
The Phillies play the infield in a little bit with Austin Green coming up. A run in here would tie it up in the top of the 9th inning. Green popped out to foul territory his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Mentioned a guy that's closed before, 73 saves. swings across his body. Phillies have the righty and the lefty warming up in the bullpen. Way outside. The lefty is Anthony Vasquez. You saw the number 85 with no name on the back. Out to right field. Williams is under it, tagging from third. Williams has got it. His throw to the plate is not in time, and Gerber scores, and we're all even at 5. So a sac fly. Boy, Nick Williams really had a battle.
It is tough. That sun is tough. Let's make sure he secures the ball first, but there's a strike towards home once he was able to get his feet back underneath him.
Well, and give Gerber credit, the fact that he was able to leg that into a triple, set up the sacrifice fly. And here's Ficacello, who singled to left his first time up, and he takes strike one. This guy's right on his swing, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Swing and a miss, and there are 2 outs. Well, again this Saturday we'll be back at it against the Toronto Blue Jays on Comcast Sportsnet, 1 o'clock. Right now the scheduled pitcher for the Phils, we mentioned this before, is David Buchanan. Now some of that depends on the health of the rest of the rotation. R.A. Dickey for the Jays. You get a chance to see that knuckleball fluttering up there. Tommy Field, fielder's choice, is first time up. Fly ball to left field. Lowe going back on it toward the track, the wall, and it is gone. And the Tigers have taken the lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Not the same kind of breeze that was there earlier in the game, but he got it up into the jet stream and it just took off.
Not only did Tommy Field keep this game a 1-run ball game in the bottom of the 8th with a throw home, but he just put his team up by a run in the top of the 9th. His home run to left field on the solo shot.
Well, here's a Zokar, and he fouls it down the right field line. So it's 6-5. Tigers on top. 6 runs on 16 hits here this afternoon. Quickly 0-2. called. Strike 3. And the inning comes to a close. But the damage is done. The Tigers score 2 in the inning. 1 on a sac fly. And the other one on a home run by Tommy Fields. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Phil's down by 1. Let's see if they can get it back. Two runs in their half of the 9th inning to take the lead, erase a 1-run deficit and take the lead. See what the Phillies have in store for them in the bottom of the 9th inning. Well, earlier today, our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. This has been nice to see.
Very nice to see. Michael Franco, one of two-run homers. Here's the second. That ball out onto the berm in left center field. 4 RBIs, 2 hits, and they are your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
All right, so now we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and Ryan Jackson will lead it off. Jackson is 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts here this afternoon. First pitch is over at the knees. It's 0-1. One ball and 1 strike. Outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Get on base any way you can right here. Get that tying run aboard.
That ball is ripped down the left field line. This baby is tied up. Ryan Jackson with a bullet home run. A solo shot. It's a 6-6 game.
Laser. That was a laser. I'd like to know the exit speed on that baby.
Yeah.
That is a good aggressive swing on a 3-1 cookie.
It just sounded good off the bat.
Heads up.
So 6-6 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Alfaro the batter. Takes high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Controlling the strike zone on both sides of the ball. Matt Klentak has talked about that profusely in spring training.
Out to right field. Going back on it is Gerber, and he'll make the catch on the edge of the track.
Whoever gets out.
And Taylor Featherston is the batter. Now, spring training games, as we've seen already this year, can end in a tie. Phillies had a tie against the Blue Jays in game number 2. Neither team has anybody warming up in the bullpen. We're not usually privy to the decisions before of the ball game. A lot of it depends on how many pitchers are used during that game. Featherston walked his last time up, grounded out his first time, and it's 1-0.
I was reminded today of Darren Ruff when the game last year, I believe it was against the Blue Jays. Dominic Brown, the game was over, and there were some pitchers that needed to get some work in, so they said, all right, we'll play another inning. And it ended in a tie, but Dom Brown hit a home run in that 10th inning or whatever it was, and it didn't count.
Up high. Two balls and no strikes. Blue Jays with 7 wins, 7-1. Phillies 7-3-1. Top spring training winning percentages. Outside, ball 4. Featherston's got some good wheels. As Andrew Knapp is going to come up as a pinch hitter. But Roman Quinn has even better wheels, and there's Roman Quinn. I was trying to decipher what Pete McCann said. I heard him say, if anybody gets on.
I think it was Boa who said that.
Oh, was it?
I think it was Larry.
I heard if anybody gets on, I'm trying to think, all right, what are they talking about? And I saw Roman Quinn grabbing a helmet. I'm thinking, if anybody gets on, Roman Quinn's going to go in. Been a good spring for Andrew Knapp. Roman Quinn, one thing that he has, and he's a very good outfielder. He's going to be a very good hitter as he continues on, and already is in the minor leagues. He's got great wheels, and that you can see on any level. But with a lefty out on the mound, he's going to have to try to read this move a little bit.
Always makes it a bit tougher. He's going home, going to first. I will say that was never being a base stealing threat. I was never ever good at reading lefties. I just wasn't. And again, I didn't have to really worry about it because they really never throw to first. There was no threat. But I would find myself a lot of times retreating towards first base as he was delivering the pitch.
Even as he was coming to the plate.
Just something I could never really pick up on.
There he goes. Let's see if he keeps on going. He does, and they tag him out. 3-3-6 on the putout. Caught stealing.
See, Roman does try and run a little bit to the left to try and get into that throwing lane of Focacello. Doesn't work.
Fly ball center field. Zokar is under it. And he makes the catch. Side is retired. The Phillies tie it up with a home run by Ryan Jackson. They have said goodbye to each other. Pete McCann and Brad Ausmus. So today's ball game will end in a 6-6 tie between the Phillies and the Detroit Tigers. So a home run by Ryan Jackson has tied this ball game up. We'll be back with a final word at Bright House Field right after this.